Candace Owens posted to her stories saying she spoke to a source that claims Ryan Reynolds is the problem. She said the tip came from someone who allegedly worked on the set and said lately everyone is bashing Blake Lively, but apparently the true villain of the saga is Ryan.
And Ryan Reynolds, childhood teacher, reached out to me, and I wasn't going to share it, but I think I have to now because it's super interesting and compelling for those of us that are interested in the psychology of this couple.
Conservative commentator Candace Owens, known for her bold opinions, has sparked controversy by weighing in on a heated Hollywood dispute involving actor Ryan Reynolds. The issue stems from legal turmoil surrounding Reynolds' wife, Blake Lively, and her It Ends With Us co-star, Justin Baldoni. Allegations of misconduct, defamation lawsuits, and claims of a smear campaign have turned this situation into a major media discussion. With Owens adding her perspective, the drama has gained even more attention, fueling debate and speculation across social media and entertainment circles.
This person is alleging that everything started when Ryan Reynolds decided to stroll onto the movie set one day and review the dailies. This is an industry term for all the footage that they filmed for the day. And he also decided to take a look at the script, and between the two, something allegedly set him off. This person claims that the production assistants then overheard Ryan and Blake having an argument in her trailer. Ryan Reynolds started being on the set on a regular basis as if he were her chaperone, and that is when he started inserting himself into the actual production, including writing lines. And then she says the next part was alleged in their lawsuits that Ryan and Blake, perhaps in response to her husband's anger, began inserting themselves in the effort to change lines and change scenes. And of course, the allegation that Ryan Reynolds was making fun of Justin Baldoni in his movie when he played the character Nice Pool. And we did hear this, I believe, from Justin's lawsuit, but correct me if I'm wrong, but she also says that allegedly Ryan presented an ultimatum to WME, the biggest talent agency in Hollywood, whose client roster include everyone from Taylor Swift to Justin Baldoni.
Candace Owens, known for her outspoken views, has turned her attention to Ryan Reynolds amid a growing Hollywood controversy. But what led Reynolds to become a target of her critique? With legal battles and media buzz surrounding Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, Owens' commentary has added another layer to this unfolding celebrity drama.
So what I've done today for you guys, I've actually built out a timeline. I will share this on Instagram after the show because the timeline really makes it clear that something very much happened when Ryan Reynolds came home because of the SAG-AFTRA strike that took place in July of 2023.
We will not be having our jobs taken away and giving to robots.
So Ryan was away from home because Deadpool was filming in Canada and England. I know way too much about this. And Blake Lively was home because It Ends With Us was filming in New Jersey and she lives in New York. So that would have been like a cab ride back and forth. So they were away from each other at the beginning of this filming.
No Balake here today.
And in June of 2023, this is really important. Things are so great between Justin and Blake. She invites him into her trailer while she was breastfeeding, okay? She's like pumping in my trailer. This is June 3rd, if you want to work out our line. So he's in there in her trailer and she is pumping. I shouldn't say breastfeeding. She's breast pumping in her trailer. And this is according to Justin's lawsuit, and he presented this evidence. So this is a fact, essentially. Nothing was wrong between Justin and Blake. You don't invite someone who sexually assaults you into your trailer alone.
The controversy began in late 2024 when Blake Lively accused her It Ends With Us co-star, Justin Baldoni, of misconduct on set. She alleged that his behavior created a difficult work environment, citing inappropriate comments and unsolicited advances. Lively also claimed multiple women were ready to testify. However, Baldoni strongly denied the allegations, calling them unsubstantiated and insisting that all his interactions remained professional. The situation quickly gained media attention, sparking widespread discussion.
Suddenly, just a few days after that, on June 14th, is when the Writers Guild of America begins picketing and they halt production. And Justin's lawsuit notes that it was during that lead up to the strike, the big strike, which happened in July 2023, that for the first time, Blake begins requesting to see the dailies. So it was an outrageous request, completely unorthodox, okay, for her as an actress and a producer to be requesting to see the dailies. So like, she's home now. So from this time in June until this strike ends, she is now home, but also Ryan Reynolds is home, okay? I don't know, I feel, and I obviously have no idea, but I feel Ryan said get me all the dailies. Not saying like, send me the 3 edits or the 3 takes. She just wants the running. Do you know how much time it takes? Like, that's an editor's nightmare.
In response to the allegations, Justin Baldoni filed a $400 million lawsuit against Blake Lively and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, accusing them of defamation and extortion. He claimed they used their influence to damage his reputation, allegedly orchestrating a negative media narrative that reached major outlets. Baldoni's legal team argued that the couple manipulated messages and communications to portray him unfairly, leading to intense online backlash. The lawsuit added another layer of complexity to an already high-profile Hollywood dispute.
Ryan Reynolds actually has a book that is published. It's not, he didn't write the book, but essentially, and this is some Comic-Con stuff, guys, like literally, like if you're deep into Marvel Universe or DC Universe, you may know about these things. I definitely did not know about these things, but they create these books essentially about all of the movies. And they're sort of these art books. This one's called Marvel Studios, Deadpool and Wolverine, the art of the movie. Essentially what that is, it's a gallery of never before seen artwork, which is the description, and exclusive lithographs and in-depth interviews with the creative team. And so they sit down with these characters and the people that created them and they ask them questions. And I am scared. I'm so scared. So I'm going to read you directly what Ryan had to say when they sat down with him to discuss Nice Pool.
Candace Owens, known for her outspoken opinions, has weighed in on the Hollywood controversy surrounding Ryan Reynolds. During an episode of her show, Candace, she took aim at Reynolds, making bold claims about his involvement in the unfolding drama. Owens stated she received a tip from someone allegedly connected to It Ends With Us, suggesting Reynolds' concerns about the film influenced behind-the-scenes tensions. She argued that his actions may have played a role in the legal fallout, further fueling speculation and discussion around this high-profile celebrity dispute.
In the recent filing, we can now see that Ryan was panicked in general about him being apart from Blake Lively, so much so that when they first communicated with one another, okay, so this is the first time that Ryan Reynolds and Justin Baldoni are speaking to one another, and they're exchanging text messages, and Justin Baldoni does this thing where he's just like so nice and was like, he literally, to sum it up, because I'm not going to read Justin's entire text, he basically is like, I was nervous to even text you. I'm such a fan of you. Like, you're so great. You're amazing. Your wife's amazing. And it then says this like really almost first day of middle school kind of thing where he's like, all of this to say, I know I sound ridiculous, but like, I just really want to be friends with you. Like, he literally tells Ryan he wants to be friends with you. And I could just see Ryan sitting there like, yes, this is exactly what I want, a puppy to kick in the mouth. And you'll do what I say. So I'm going to show you these exchanges. This is Ryan Reynolds, Justin Baldoni. If you guys have not read through them, I recommend that you go on to the site to read it. He even extends like saying how wonderful Blake was because, you know, she was very nice to his wife, says that Blake sent the sweetest message to his wife. I mean, he's being so respectful, falling over himself to be respectful and to say like, hey, can we still be friends? And Ryan Reynolds then sends this text message. And he basically says like, sorry for the delay. I've been writing. The girls are sick again, whatever. It tells him essentially that he hit the jackpot with Blake Lively. She literally passes on every film and every filmmaker all the time. But the one thing I know, and I speak from a deep wellspring of experience here, having her in your court.
Candace Owens didn't hold back in her critique of Ryan Reynolds, calling him out for allegedly making light of the ongoing legal dispute during the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary special. During a segment with hosts Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, Reynolds was asked how he was doing, to which he jokingly responded, "Great. Why? What have you heard?" Owens interpreted this remark as a subtle reference to the controversy, accusing him of using humor to deflect from serious allegations. She took to social media to express her disapproval, stating that Hollywood elites should not use their influence to mock or discredit individuals involved in legal battles. The situation has sparked debate online, with fans and critics weighing in on both Reynolds' comments and Owens' reaction.
Ryan Reynolds is throwing down some alpha male, and by alpha male, I mean extremely beta male. I have rich and powerful friends at the top. That's not a confirmation, but I'm looking at the length of the strip, and it's given Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift would say the same. My wife is wonderful, okay? Anyways, jumping back into these messages, he then moves immediately to ask Justin Baldoni to change their production dates because he's never been apart from Blake Lively so long. He basically says he tried to do it on his end. I'm paraphrasing here. You can go read it on the website. You know, I was frantically trying to address this. I was frantically trying to change this, shorten the shoot, but I can't because, you know, Deadpool and Wolverine is set in stone. They already booked the studio. But like, could you do something to try to punt this? And he ends it with this, which is funny that we're talking about like a sexual lawsuit and what's appropriate. He ends it by saying, all this to say, I'd have your line producer's face tattooed to my perineum. Okay, so that is the skin between Ryan's parts. I don't even know how to appropriately state that other than perineum. Okay, he pull that back up again. I would have your line producer's face tattooed to my perineum if he, she, or they can figure out how to start 2 weeks earlier. Completely understand how big of an ask that is. But the perineum is one of the most nervy parts of the human body to expose to trauma.
Public reaction to Candace Owens' commentary was divided. Some supported her critique, arguing that Hollywood often uses humor to deflect from serious issues. One user commented, "Hollywood loves using humor as a shield for toxic behavior. If you're going to bully, own it. Don't hide behind scripted jokes." Others felt Owens was overreaching, inserting herself into a complex situation without having all the facts. As the legal battle continues, with a trial date set for March 2026, opinions remain split. Some view Blake Lively's allegations as a courageous stand against misconduct, while others see Justin Baldoni as a victim of a damaging smear campaign. Meanwhile, Ryan Reynolds finds himself at the center of controversy, not just legally, but also in the court of public opinion, where influential voices like Candace Owens continue to shape the ongoing discussion.
Well, Ryan Reynolds on the Enneagram is a psycho. That's what he is. He's just a psycho. His number is psycho. And we had suspected, just by piecing together everything, that he didn't want Blake Lively to be away from him. Remember, I built out the timeline and I worked through it. And I realized that, oh, this is interesting. Like Ryan Reynolds is filming at the same time as Blake Lively. He's also doing his Wrexham football stuff. And they're basically apart. And I'm sure he popped back a few times, but for like 4 months scheduled to be apart in a different country. And yeah, I felt that Ryan was kicking up some dust because he didn't want to leave Blake Lively alone with Justin Baldoni because he's away in the UK. And then I was positing that perhaps when he got home, he was either reading her text messages, reading through the dailies, reading through the script, and he just decided, okay, you know what? This entire production needs to be halted. I don't trust my wife, okay? And my strongest inclination for that was the fact that on the day that the SAG-AFTRA strike ended, on the day that both of them had to go back to work, meaning Ryan had to go back to film for Wolverine and Deadpool, Wayfarer gets that shocking email of demands. And basically their production gets suspended while Ryan gets to go in the UK and feel confident knowing that she's not going to see Justin Baldoni until he's back.
This ongoing controversy highlights the complexities of public discourse in today's media landscape, where serious allegations quickly spark intense debate. As the legal battle unfolds, opinions remain divided, fueling discussions across Hollywood and beyond. Meanwhile, Candace Owens continues to voice her sharp critique, keeping the intersection of entertainment and political commentary as active as ever. With high-profile figures involved, this saga is far from over, ensuring continued public and media attention.
At least aware of why his quote-unquote best friend, Ryan Reynolds, was writing in all of these lines, especially because we did the timeline and we showed you that this was not initially supposed to be a part of their principal filming. And then they went back and they did some filming after the SAG-AFTRA strike. And somebody had admitted that they had done all of that dog pool filming. I said dog poo, that too, dog pool filming at the very end of the movie. So it's interesting. It's very interesting. Hugh would have known exactly what his best friend was thinking, especially because it wasn't a part of the larger plot of the movie. Hugh Jackman was also in the now infamously cringe It Ends With Us promotional skit that had nothing to do with promoting the movie, which was about domestic violence, where Ryan directed it and he brought in his mom and Blake was in the background. We learned that. But he also brought in his best friend because he just wanted a little bit of A-list power there. And when you're really obviously trying to be a high school bully, you want to be like, we're the cool kids and you're nothing. What better way to make him uncomfortable than to promote his movie?
Candace Owens isn't limiting her criticism to Ryan Reynolds. She's using this controversy to highlight what she sees as Hollywood's double standards. Framing the situation as another example of powerful figures protecting their own, Owens argues that some celebrities face consequences while others are shielded. She claims Reynolds is the latest star caught in legal and social scrutiny and questions whether the justice system will hold him accountable or if Hollywood will step in to protect him. As the debate continues, Owens's outspoken stance has added another layer to the ongoing discussion, keeping the spotlight on the intersection of celebrity influence and public accountability.
No. It's not every day a guy gets to interview the love interest of his best friend's wife, and the guy trying to replace Ryan as a husband, and me as his best mate.
Holy
What the hell are you doing messing with my best buddy's wife?
Sir, I have no idea what's happening at all today.
And so I also want to remind you that Hugh Hefner then appeared at the It Ends With Us premiere. Again, not his movie. Kind of weird that he's hitting the red carpet with them. He obviously knows what is going on. What would that conversation have been on the way to the premiere as they made Justin Baldoni go really, really early and then stuffed him in the basement. Again, this was all just meant to be a power display, and Hugh Jackman played a role in it. He did. So he was one of the unnamed dragons, if you will, in all of this. And it looks like for that, he is being awarded for his contributions with a deposition. All right. So check out this headline. You can see the Daily Mail. It says, surprising new twist in Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni legal battle as Hugh Jackman is pulled into the saga. And then it tells us that according to a source, Hugh Jackman is going to be deposed before the trial because Baldoni's legal team wants to get the full scope of Reynolds' conduct during the time that It Ends With Us was being filmed. An insider also told the Mail that, quote, Hugh will be deposed if this goes to trial. There is no way that he cannot. Baldoni's legal team is doing everything they need to get a full scope of Ryan's conduct during the time that It Ends With Us was filmed.
Candace Owens addressed the controversy on her podcast, criticizing Ryan Reynolds for what she sees as hypocrisy. She claimed he presents himself as morally upright, but avoids accountability when facing personal challenges. Owens accused Reynolds of using humor as a defense mechanism, instead of addressing the serious accusations involving him and Blake Lively. She argued that Hollywood often deflects with jokes and public relations tactics, shaping narratives to move past controversies. According to Owens, this situation is another example of how the entertainment industry controls public perception while allowing stars to continue their careers unaffected.
Ryan Reynolds' bromances, his various bromances over the years. We've talked about him and Jake Gyllenhaal. And obviously, this has been a bromance that has been very much thrown in the public's face. Ryan's kind of perpetually highly publicizing his bromances is something that I find to be quite strange, right? Mostly because he's a 48-year-old man, Ryan Reynolds. He has 4 kids. And he seems to dedicate a lot of time and resources, like financial resources, to trying to convince the public that these bromances are perfectly normal. And we're not really asking for that convincing. Like, I don't need people to convince me that guys can hang out with one another, but he feels like he has to make that effort. So he's like, nothing's weird here. Nothing's weird. Bromances are so normal. I mean, notoriously, that's the reason why he flew out Liz Plank, Justin Baldoni's podcast partner, flew her all the way over, presumably to the UK, to provide her expert testimony as to why bromances are like totally chill, right? They're totally okay. Remember, here's what she had to say in his Wrexham documentary about that.
The definition of the word bromance is just, it's a platonic relationship between 2 men. There's no female equivalent to the term bromance. The female equivalent is friends. And so the fact that we need a term to describe 2 men going out to dinner, I think, is very revealing about what men are allowed or are not allowed to do and how much self-policing there is when it comes to their relationships with other men. So bromance is almost this permission for men to connect and to show love to each other, because it's like a joke.
Candace Owens' comments quickly sparked heated debates across social media. Some supported her, arguing that Hollywood elites like Ryan Reynolds often avoid accountability, while others dismissed her remarks as an attempt to gain attention. While Owens' audience largely backed her stance, critics questioned whether she had any real insight into the situation or was merely capitalizing on the controversy. Meanwhile, Reynolds has remained relatively quiet, choosing not to directly engage with the accusations. Aside from his subtle joke during Saturday Night Live's 50th anniversary special, he has largely let his legal team handle the situation. However, that hasn't stopped online speculation. Many wonder whether this marks a turning point in Reynolds' public image, or if the controversy will eventually fade as Hollywood moves on to the next big scandal. As the debate rages on, one thing remains clear. Owens isn't backing down. She continues to criticize Reynolds and the entertainment industry, keeping the conversation alive. Whether this situation leads to lasting consequences or simply fuels another media frenzy remains to be seen. But for now, it's keeping fans and critics engaged in the unfolding drama.